Hi there, I'm Amber with Kaleidoscope Yoga. Thank you so much for your interest in my video today. Hey, if you'd like to follow along when we do the classes live, just like my Kaleidoscope Yoga page on Facebook or follow me on Instagram at Amber Kleid Yoga for dates and times. In the meantime, grab yourself your mat, a couple of blocks, maybe a blanket and a towel, and perhaps a bolster or a thicker pillow to rest on in Shavasana, and I will meet you on the mat. Happy Mother's Day. Before I step back here, I just had a couple of thoughts I wanted to share with you guys since it is Mother's Day, and I wanted to share this. This is me and my mom 20 years ago, and she lives in New Mexico, and I miss her dearly, and I wish that she was here for Mother's Day, but I'll be calling her when I get done doing our class today. But I'm going to set that right there so I can glance at her while we do our yoga practice today. And I know how we look at Mother's Day traditionally, but I'd really like to give you a little bit of food for thought and kind of take it one step farther. For me, I don't have the traditional kids. I have fur babies, and I don't know what I'd do without them. I mean, for those of you that have pets, know, I'm sure, what I'm speaking of. But of course, there's always that special bond between a mother and her daughter. But by definition, a mother is, it kind of describes a woman in a relationship with her child or her children, as how we would look at it traditionally. And then to be a mother is like mothering someone or something too. So you look after them kindly, you'd nurture them, you would protect them. And so to me, that brings the thought of caregivers. I mean, all these caregivers that are on the front lines of COVID-19 right now, and other ones as well. My sister-in-law is in, my sister-in-law and her husband are both EMTs. And my other sister-in-law is a teacher, and I think teachers are wonderful, amazing mother figures. And it can also mean to give birth to, obviously. You know, you've got kiddos and stuff, but I'm also thinking a little bit broader, like ideas and thoughts. We become mothers to, you know, maybe you built a business from the ground up, or you're an artist, or anything. You know, your friends come to you for ideas and thoughts. You know, I think that's such a beautiful kind of idea of a mother as well. And just as kind of a funky example, because I'm such a music buff, Frank Zappa, his band is called the Mothers of Invention. And if you are a fan of Frank Zappa, or if you've ever heard his stuff, it's just out there. It's so crazy, but it's like they were always evolving and playing with their music and nurturing their talents and growing their ideas into these crazy, funky vibes. Like they just kept growing and growing and blowing up this invention of this crazy music scene that they were in. Hi, Lisa. Happy Mother's Day. And I also love the phrase, the mother of whatever. Like today we're going to do the mother of all yoga practices, I hope. So little food for thought for you today, and just a blessing to all the mothers out there. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to go ahead and step back and get on my mat. All you need today, you know, blankets, towels, blocks or books if you have them, of course your mat, and just an open mind today. Let's go ahead. So please come on into your favorite seated position. And remember, that doesn't have to be cross-legged. Find a nice tall spine, lifting from the crown of the head. And go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths. Big inhale. And release. And it may feel a little tight to begin if you haven't done any deep breathing yet today, but just go ahead and do as many as it takes to feel comfortable. Take a few more breaths here. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, just letting the eyes move towards the floor. Let your gaze move down. And shut the eyelids just enough that things around you become shadows instead of shapes. And let the body begin to soften from the crown all the way down to the toes. And let it move with the breath. So as you inhale, maybe focus on the crown of the head. And as you exhale, move your thoughts towards the space between the eyes and let your eyebrows relax. Wiggle those eyebrows around if you need to release that tension. And then on your next exhale, releasing around the eyes. Letting the eyes just sink back into their sockets. On the next exhale, moving to the cheekbones. And then exhaling, softening the back of the head, right around the skull. Maybe even the upper part of the neck. And the ears. And the jaw. Exhaling. And let's draw the attention to the neck and find just a soft movement, whatever feels good. You can look up and down, you can drop one ear to one shoulder. All that I ask is that you are mindful and you pay attention to the breath. And maybe you use the inhale for one movement and use the exhale for the next. Noticing how the muscles shift in the neck, how things are starting to stretch and release. Oh. Take one more breath here and then draw the head back above the heart. And then taking a nice deep inhale, go ahead and roll the shoulders up to the ears and try not to sink down, pulling the ears towards the shoulders. You want the shoulders to move straight up, like we're on an elevator. Big inhale, and as you exhale, gently and slowly roll the shoulders back and down. And let's continue with that roll. So inhaling forward, kind of pulling the shoulders towards one another up to the ears, and then exhaling back. Taking your time, exploring any sensations and the movement. One last time, big breath to the ears, and then exhale back. Let's go the opposite direction, drawing the shoulders back and then up to the ears, and exhale, release it down. Let's do that 2 more times. Pulling those shoulders back and lifting up. Trying not to pull the ears towards the shoulders, shoulders towards the ears. And then 1 more time, please. I see a few other people have joined. I can't see the names though, but I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you so much for coming. So relaxing through the shoulders, letting the arms relax fully, letting the arms become heavy. And then perhaps you'd like, so traditionally if palms are facing towards the sky, you're inviting energy in. If you're feeling a little flighty today and you want to rest and you just need some grounding, turn your palms down. Focus that energy back to the earth. And then taking a deep breath into the lungs, filling up the chest, and just noticing how the ribs separate and widen. Maybe the spine lifts a little bit. And then as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of decompression, of release, of letting go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then let your next breath fill your belly. And if you want, you can draw the hands to the belly. You don't have to, but just feel either way, whether the belly's pushing into the palms of the hands or you're just feeling the belly kind of release out. Just feel that breath fill fully. And then when you're ready, start to draw the belly button into the spine. Releasing the breath. Inhale, breathe it in, full breath. And exhale. One more time, big breath in. And don't stress about it. Just breathe to whatever capacity feels comfortable for you. If it feels like you're losing your breath, then just let it go, relax. Or like you're gasping for breath. And then come back to a regular breath. Find that integrity in the spine again. I found myself kind of leaning forward. So just rest back into the spine here. Relaxing through the legs. And I invite you to start a gentle sway from side to side. So you're just kind of following your shoulder. And it can be as big or as little as you like. All that I ask is that when you move from side to side, that your hips stay anchored to whatever it is that you're sitting on. And just notice how the body feels around the like the low back and your side body up through the rib cage. If you want to add a mindfulness breath to it, you can take an inhale to one side and an exhale to the other side. Nice soft movement. We're just waking up through the spine here before we begin some standing and moving around. And then come on back to center. Hands on the knees. And we're going to do some seated cat-cows. So very simple movement, and it doesn't have to be 100%. You can just literally take a nice deep inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, maybe chin to chest. If you want to go a nice full movement, you can inhale and kind of arc through the back. You'll feel a gentle pull through the front of the body, gaze comes to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, chin to chest, and you can round through the spine. So opposite movement. Inhale, finding that seated cow. exhale, let it go, relaxing through the upper back. Go ahead and do a few more. Last time, deep breath in, find that cow. And exhale into cat. And when you find your cat, stay here, relaxing with the chin to the chest. Release any holding in the shoulders or the upper back. And then draw the chin from shoulder to shoulder. So you're just making what I like to call smileys. So you're bringing the chin to one shoulder and then draping it across the chest to the next shoulder. And then bring the chin back to the center. Take an inhale and roll yourself up. And we're going to go ahead and switch our feet. So whatever leg was in front before, go ahead and draw that one in front. Bring those fingertips down by your side. Let's take a big inhale. Fingertips are going to reach up and we're going to take a twist to the right. So exhale, letting left hand touch the right knee. Right hand's going to come behind you and it's going to be like the source of stability. So you can lengthen through your spine. And don't get crazy, especially if you haven't done a lot of movement today. Just kind of let yourself slowly settle into this twist. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a little breath work with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an inhale, and as we inhale, you're just going to shift forward just a little bit. You're not going to come out of your twist. We're going to find that length in the spine, or keep it, and then as you exhale, you're going to rotate back into that twist. And maybe you move a little farther, maybe you don't. Inhale, gently coming forward just a bit, and then exhale, rotate into that twist. Inhale, draw it forward. Exhale into the twist. One more time, inhale. And exhale, relax into your twist. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. And then take an exhale and come on back to center. Take a big inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale to your left. Right hand on left knee. Left hand comes behind and you find that support. Take an inhale, lift through the spine, and slowly come forward just a little, and exhale into your twist. Inhale forward, and exhale back into your twist, softening a little bit more each time. Breathe it in, come forward, and exhale back. Pause here and take your gaze over your left shoulder. And then on an exhale, soften and come forward. Very nice. Go ahead and pop up off whatever you're sitting on, unless of course you're just sitting on your mat. Then just bring your legs out wide in front of you. So you don't have to spread your legs out super duper wide, and you may like to sit back on your blanket to roll that pelvis forward just a little bit. And let's go ahead and draw the hands out in front. So just kind of a note, if you're flexing your toes, which I'd like you to do, don't draw the heels up off the floor because that promotes hyperextension in your knees. If you feel that your knees are a little tender, you feel any tension, go ahead and draw the heels up a little bit and just bend through the knees some. And that should bring a little bit of the pressure off. So palms to the floor, and we're looking for a straight back. And just pause here for a moment. Notice how the hips feel. You should have some activation in your legs if you're flexing through your toes. And let's walk the hands forward just a little bit if it feels good in your body and if you have that kind of flexibility. I can't go very far in this shape. Some people can totally lay flat on the ground, and I just do not have that capability. So just listen to the body, making sure that you're not pushing it past its limits. And then if you want to, you can come forward just a little bit more. And remember, we're trying to remain straight through the back, as straight as we can. So we're not dropping the head down. We're not rounding through the shoulders. And if you feel like you are, walk yourself back a little and kind of roll the shoulders back and down. Good. So we're just going to walk our hands over to the right. And go ahead and frame the right knee. Lengthen through the spine and shift the chest towards the knee a little bit. So there's a little bit of a difference when you just walk over, but if you really make that connection with the spine and kind of draw the right shoulder back a little bit, you can feel a little bit deeper twist here. So if you would like in this position, if you have it in your practice, you can reach for the toe. And you can also take a little half bind here. So you can bring the left hand to the back of the calf and then draw the right hand behind your back. So you get a little stretch in the shoulder as well. Keeping those feet flexed. Good. Go ahead and relax the arm if you have it back or if you're touching your toes. Engage the belly, and then you can use your hands to kind of help guide you up. And then come on back to center. And let's go ahead and walk on over to the left. So same thing, instead of just twisting, really connect with your spine, lengthen a little bit more, and then draw that left shoulder back. And then point the chest towards the knee. And then if you have it in your practice, you can reach and grab the toes or right hand on the outside of the calf and draw the left arm behind you for a little bit more of a shoulder stretch. Go ahead and relax the hand and engage the belly. Go ahead and draw yourself up. We're going to bring the legs back together. Bring those soles of the feet to the floor. Bring the hands behind you and go ahead and find a windshield wiper here And be mindful, don't swing it back and forth 100 miles an hour, just dropping gently, loosening up through the hips, finding a little bit of movement in the low back. And then go ahead and make your way into tabletop position. Again, you can pad your knees if you need to with your blanket. Make yourself comfortable. And then coming into our tabletop position, remember, wrists underneath our shoulders. Spread those fingertips out because we want to have a nice foundation. Knees under our hips, and we got our toes behind our knees. We're going to engage into the belly. We're going to pull the rib cage into the midline. Press into the right palm and go ahead and reach the left fingertips forward. And then when you're ready, if you want, go ahead and extend the right leg back. And we find our spinal balance position here. Taking a few breaths. Do not hold the breath. Make sure it is soft and steady. And then take an inhale when you're ready and lift the leg and the hand. And then as you exhale, we're just going to tap it on the floor, both of them down. Inhale, lift it up, and try to use the full extent of the inhale. And once you reach that full capacity of breath, pause the hand and the foot, and then exhale, release it down. So not only are we working on our core here, but we're obviously working on our balance. And of course, finding the breath too. Last time, let it go, bring it all the way down. Hand and knee to the floor. We're going to take our right hip and we're just going to dip it off to the side. So you're going to roll a little bit to the outside of your right knee. We're not coming all the way down to the floor. And then once you do that, you're going to take your gaze and you're going to look at your left toes. One more breath here. On your next inhale, draw yourself back to center. And let's move to the other side. So make sure you connect through the midline, connect at the belly, draw those rib cages in. And we're strong through the upper part of the shoulders too. So we're really pressing up through the palms of the hands. And we're going to release the right hand forward and left foot behind you. And just hold for a moment. Really make that connection with the body. What part feels like it's off balance, if anything? What parts really feel strong in this shape? And then when you're ready, go ahead and take that inhale, draw the hand and the foot high. You don't have to come up super duper high, just as high as it feels comfortable. And then exhale. And bring it up when you're ready. Remember to use that full extension of the breath for a full extension of movement. And then relax it down. One more time. Slow and easy. And this time, hand to the floor, knee to the floor. Drop that left knee off to the side. Take your gaze to your right toes this time. Hello. And then bring it back to center. We're going to go ahead and plant those palms down again. We're going to turn our toes under and make our way into downward facing dog, but take it slow, so slow. Rolling into the toes, stretching up through the hips. pressing into the palms, extending through the arms. And then find a space for the legs where you can walk your dog, where it feels really good. Don't forget to get a little massage into the toes, really bending into them, stretching out through the heels. And then when you're in your downward facing dog, hugging again those ribs towards your midline and rotating the shoulders kind of down a little bit as we keep pressing into the hands. Fingertips can kind of push into the mat as well. Let's go ahead and take some baby steps. We're going to walk our feet forward towards our hands, coming into forward fold. Remember to use your block if it feels like your hamstrings are extra tight or the low back is talking to you today. To find more of a flat back position than just kind of a ragdoll as you hang over. Press into the toes, connect to your heel. Really get a sense of stability and security down there, the soles of the feet at your foundation. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop your bottom down a little bit, let your hands kind of hang there, engage the belly, and shoot your energy down towards the feet as you roll yourself up. Really let your legs be strong in this position to support you. And then hands up above the head. And then we're going to exhale, forward fold. Find your flat back. Lengthen from the crown of the head all the way into the sits bones. And then exhale, release. Roll it up again. Inhale. Fingertips to the sky. And float it down, forward fold, nice and slow. Palms to the floor. Release your right foot back. Find a stance that feels good for your stability. You can drop that back foot at a 45-degree angle. Front foot, keep your knee above your ankle. And then when you're ready to come into your warrior one, draw yourself up strong like the mother that you are, whether it is of children or pets or bountiful ideas. We all have to warrior through something, don't we? All right, let's take a big inhale. Elbows back, hug those shoulder blades in. You got it. Big inhale, open that heart space. Exhale, bringing the forearms and the elbows towards one another. If you want, you can round completely in the back. Inhale, open up. Exhale, forearms and elbows towards one another. And this time we're going to open up, open, 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 unfold the arms, and make your way into a warrior two. So back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Your left foot should be pointed forward, relaxing through the shoulders. Fingertips shoot out from the shoulders. Take a gaze over your front fingertips, and then just peek down at your knee to make sure that it's not folding in and it's not dropping off to the side, but it's directed over that second and third toe, protecting that knee. So as we take an inhale, we're going to find peaceful warrior, but we're going to straighten out that front leg. So breathing in deep, left hand high, right hand comes back, straighten out that front leg. Deep stretch here. Exhale. Inhale, bring it up, find your warrior two, nice and slow. Relax. Inhale, press into that leg, straighten it out, stretch through that side body, reach, reach, reach. And exhale, find your warrior two. One more time, breathe it in and up, stretch it out. This time we're going to exhale and move into triangle. So right hip sort of kicks out a little bit. Left hand's going to come down to a block or your calf. Right hand reaches up. A lot of core work in this position. So connect to that space here. Feel the knife edge of the back foot and then press into that big toe as well. And then you might feel a little engagement here on the inner thigh on the left leg. We want to make sure that our chest is open. So we draw that bottom chest forward, keeping the right arm above the shoulder, not falling back. If you try that, you can feel the stress on the low back when you swing the arm. One more breath here. Woo. All right, engage that core. Take an inhale. Draw the hands above the head. Parallel the feet. So left foot comes forward. We find our 5-pointed star. Relax through the shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale as we exhale. Left hand moves to right foot. Arms spread out. Little twist here. Exhale all the way down. Engage the belly. Draw yourself back up. 5-pointed star. Feel that core work. And exhale. Right hand, left foot. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, left hand, right foot. Keep it going. Inhale. Let's do one more set, please. Left hand, right foot. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, right hand, left foot. Inhale, back to center. Keep the arms where they are. Unless they're super tired, you can take a break, of course. We're going to point our right foot forward this time. So we're just going to shift and we're going to bend into that right leg. So back foot should be parallel to the back of the mat. Right knee above our right ankle. Again, we relax through the shoulders. Let the tailbone relax too. We don't want to let the tailbone drop. You see how my belly kind of falls forward. We get this arc in the back. We don't want that. But we also don't want to be rounded this way. So we find a happy medium. Let's gaze over the right fingertips this time. Take an inhale, straighten out the right leg. Right hand comes forward, left hand back. Find that awesome stretch on the side. And then exhale back into warrior two. Inhale. Let that power come from the sole of the foot and let it move all the way to the fingertips. And then release. Bring it on up. Last time. And then we move into our triangle. So let that left hip shift to the side a little. You'll feel that engagement on the inner right thigh. Right hand comes to the calf or a block. And set yourself up so the right chest, the right rib cage kind of floats forward. And if you want, you can take your gaze to your fingertips. Either one. Check and see how the neck feels. Good. Engage the belly. Draw yourself up. We're going to come back to that 5-pointed star. And we're going to parallel our feet. Go ahead and relax the hands behind your back. You're going to point your fingertips down. Bring the pointer fingers down. Bring the thumbs together. And then you're going to relax through the shoulders and kind of draw the fingers down as you lift up through the chest. Now, if this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, just lift up the chest. You can release the hands. And we're going to come forward. So you're going to find that flat back position here. And then if you like, you can lift the shoulders up above the head. And some folks are super flexible here. Again, this is not one of my most flexible places, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get a little stretch here, opening up through the chest. We're, of course, connecting with the hamstrings and the calves here as well. If that doesn't feel good to lift the shoulders, just relax it. You can rest your hands on your low back. And then go ahead and take the hands down to the floor, relax them, and just let them ragdoll and find this sweet little swing from side to side. And then go ahead and bring the fingertips to the floor, and you're going to add that little swing into the legs. So you're going to stretch into the right or the left, it doesn't really matter. And just get this nice stretch through the inner part of the thigh, and then just focus and move to the opposite side. If you'd like, you can lift the toes and come onto the heels. Kind of gives a little bit of a different stretch here. Be careful with the knees. Nice and slow, up and down. And the next time that you get to the left leg, go ahead and start to move into a low lunge. Dropping that back knee, letting the top of the foot rest on the floor. And we're just going to bring our hands to our thigh here. We're going to kind of soften through the upper body. Now, if you want to get a deeper stretch here through your hip flexors, take that knee back a little bit. We want to keep our front knee above our ankle, but having like a more of a 90-degree angle in the legs is totally fine too. And just press into the thigh, relaxing through the shoulders, lifting up through the chest. And then go ahead and relax the hands down. We're going to turn that back foot, toes under, lift up that back knee. We're going to release the left leg back and just find a plank shape here first before we move to the right leg. So we find our plank, we hug in through the midline. You can drop to your knees if you want. Lengthening from the crown of the head all the way to the heels. Remember, our bottom's down, so we're not up. If you move up, you'll notice that you put so much more weight into your shoulders. And then go ahead and drop that left knee down and bring the right leg forward. You know, and if you have it in your practice, you can pick up the back leg too, if you want to, if you'd rather be here. It's completely up to you. So pressing into the thigh, lifting up through the ribs, maybe a slight back bend. And then you may feel a little stretch through the front of the hips. Good. Go ahead and bring both hands down. We're going to swing that leg behind us and we're going to find a seated position. Actually, we're going to lay down. So go ahead and drop your back down. So feet are flat on the floor. We're going to take our left ankle and we're going to cross it over the right leg, right on top of the thigh, right near the knee. And you're going to spread your toes really good on the left foot because we don't want to put any unnecessary pressure into our knee. And then you're going to draw the right leg up towards you. Bring the hands behind the thigh. So you're going to draw the left hand on the inside, this little triangle in between your legs here. And Draw that leg towards you. If that feels good, if it doesn't, you can just lift up. You don't have to do the hands. You can even stay where we began. So choose a space that feels best in your body. And I'd like you to try to relax through the shoulders. Relax your tailbone. Close the eyes for a few moments and enjoy your breath as we get a little stretch through the outer hip. And then slowly release the hands, let the right foot come down. Keep the legs crossed because we're going to go ahead and move into a twist. So you're going to press into the right foot, lift up your hips and swing them over to the left, and then drop the legs down. And then as best as you can, if it feels good, you can open up the left arm back. Or just let the arm rest at your side. But see if you can get a little bit of opening in the chest. Relaxing in the legs. Softening in the face. Take 2 more really full, intentional breaths here. And then when you're ready, engaging the belly, and you can press into your right palm to give you a little bit of stability to draw you back to your center space. Get those shoulders planted on the ground and then draw the knees in, giving them a little hug, a gentle rock from side to side. And then plant the soles of the feet back on the floor. Take your right foot and cross it over your left knee, making sure that you spread those toes on the right foot. And then if you're ready and wanting to, go ahead and draw that left leg up. Relaxing the shoulders, letting that tailbone sink towards the floor just a little bit more. No forcing, just letting it naturally rest. And then taking a couple of breaths and just noticing how this feels and if it feels differently than the other leg. the other side of the body. And notice if there's any space that you are really trying to hold, and relax it with the exhale. Take 2 more breaths. Nice and deep, filling up the belly and letting it go. And then slowly release the hands if they're interlaced. Letting the left foot come down, and then pressing into the left foot, lift up your hips and swing them to the right, and then drop the legs to your left to find a twist. And again, just kind of checking if there's any space that you're trying to hold on to. And give yourself permission to release. Take your final 2 big breaths here. Maybe allowing yourself to move into the twist a little more fully. And then using that left palm, pressing into the floor to give yourself a little stability. Draw yourself back to center. Let the hips rest in the middle and draw your legs in close. This time, bring your forehead towards your knees and give yourself this big hug. And then when you're ready, release it. Let the hands come above the head. Let the feet float to the floor. And stretch it out. One big, huge, full-bodied stretch. Hugging in all the muscles. Big internal hug. And then relax it down. Bring your hands to a space that feels comfortable. You can maybe draw the feet a little bit wider on the mat to give the knees and the ankles space to just really relax. Take a couple of full, deep breaths and just allow yourself to settle into the ground, this Mother Earth that supports us no matter what. Another mother theme for today. And close your eyes and allow yourself some sacred stillness. You can stay right where you are if you'd like. If you need a few more moments of rest, or you can begin to deepen the breath, feeling it from the inside out. And you may find a little movement. Perhaps rolling to one side and taking a couple of breaths there before you make your way into a seated position. And then drawing your hands to your heart space in Anjali Mudra on this Mother's Day. And for those of you that joined us a few moments into our practice, thank you so much for being here. I see you. And just remember, Mother's Day is such a beautiful time to celebrate the woman who bore you, of course, or if you're a mother, it's so beautiful and a wonderful time to say thank you. But also considering these caregivers and teachers that are nurturing and looking after folks that need it, being very kind. having that mothering nature. And also keeping in mind that we all bear male and female qualities, and men can be mothering too. Lots of ideas and food for thought as I send you on your way today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Namaste.